Hello and welcome back to the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm your host, Lucas Maciello. We've got a quick show for you today, so let's just jump right into it. First up, tuition is about to go up by over 3% for the third year in a row, and many students aren't happy about it. The Board of Trustees recently unanimously approved a proposal to increase tuition by 3.6% for in-state students and 3.9% for out-of-staters, making next year's tuition for Rhode Islanders $16,858 and having out-of-state students pay $36,846, not including room and board. University President Mark Parlange blames the tuition hikes on a lack of funding from the government, telling the Rhode Island Senate Committee on Education that without more help from the Senate, the university will be forced to continue to raise prices, and that every year he hopes the state will recognize the importance of the university and help out, but it never happens. Nathan Robillard went to the Quad to find out how students are reacting to the changes in this week's edition of the Robillard Report.
For the third straight year, the University of Rhode Island has increased their tuition by more than 3%. For this week's edition of the Robillard Report, we went around campus asking students whether they knew about it and what they thought about it. All right, so I'm here with, what's your name?
Aiden Silva.
Fatima.
So URI has again increased tuition by about 3%. This is the third year in a row they're doing this. We just found out about it, so we're wondering if the students around here know about it, and if so, what do you think about it? So I'll start with you.
I actually didn't know about that, and I think that about 3% is actually a lot compared to, it's just a lot.
What about you?
I haven't heard about it, but I feel like 3%, if it's been going on for 3 years, it adds up, and I feel like we should all be informed about it as well.
Do you think the university could do a better job, informing students, or is there any other thoughts you guys have there?
Definitely. Like, I don't know, there's many ways that they could tell all of us, maybe through email or like letting us know when you like sign up to join the school, be informed about it beforehand.
Yeah, I feel like keeping a secret, like, come on now, like, I don't know. Considering that, like, I wasn't informed about that, I feel like, wow, I paying this much. Yeah, it was already too much.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I
Thank
appreciate your
you.
time.
Thank
It's good to
you.
meet you. Good to meet you.
Me too.
All right, so I'm here with, what's your name?
Anya.
Anya.
Kyla.
Kyla. So URI just increased tuition by about 3% or so. It's the third straight year they did that. So we're just going around campus today and getting students' reactions. So, I mean, did you know about it? What do you think about it? That kind of stuff.
I was honestly uninformed about it. I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life now, so that's basically how I feel about it. Kyla, any thoughts?
Yeah, I had no idea about it either.
Gotcha. I mean, in your opinion, is there anything the university could have done better to, tell people about this? I mean, I know you both said you weren't very informed about it, but...
Maybe an email sent around, informing people, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, thanks guys so much. So I'm here with the Cigar's very own Brandon LaJoy and then also Noah McLean. Guys, URI increased tuition by about 3% this year. It's the third straight year they're doing that. So A, did you know this was going to happen? And B, general reactions on it. I guess we'll start with you, Noah.
I did not know that happened. I knew they increased it last year and the year before, but I didn't know they increased it again. And my honest reaction is that. That's my short answer reaction. Out of state, so I already pay a lot to begin with. College is expensive, and that's just annoying.
So what's more annoying to you, the fact that it's happening or the fact that you didn't necessarily know about it this year?
That's tough. I think that because you're my financial aid doesn't change. Once you're giving your financial aid back as a senior in high school, it doesn't change. So I think that's probably annoying that I didn't know. But I mean, paying more is still paying more. So that's probably the one that's going to come back to get me in the long run.
What about you, Brandon?
I was aware that it was happening because I was aware the last 2 years that it was happening. I don't feel that it's going to be a crazy difference for me because I am in-state. I can understand Noah's anger about it. Out-of-state comparison to in-state is unbelievable. But, I mean, it's a little tough. Hopefully FAFSA will start rolling out a couple extra dollars maybe for us, but I doubt that's going to happen. Not going to happen, but I can understand anger. I can understand why people would be very angry about that.
Anything else you guys want to say in terms of maybe what the university could have done better? I know, Noah, you out of state, your feelings were a little bit stronger there, but I'm just interested to know what you would have done different.
I mean, I think there's no need to increase tuition. Like, I understand inflation, I understand things are expensive, but I mean, when you think about, heck, I think the parking services slapping $50 parking tickets on cars is probably going to earn you enough for that 3% increase. Yeah. That's just my opinion, though. But no, I think making sure students are aware of that, because like I said, I knew in previous years they had done that, but I didn't know it was increasing again. So I would say making sure your students, you know, especially for a person like me who's paying for their college, like that's going to come back and be more money that I have to work off. So yeah, I would say more publication of that
more
knowledge.
Transparency.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, man. Well, there you have it. That's what students are thinking about the raised tuition increases this year. With the Robillard Report, I'm Nathan Robillard. Back to you, Lucas.
Thanks, Nate. Later, we'll learn more about the Musician Guild's upcoming concert and go to Rocky Point in Warwick for this week's Aiden on Location, but first, I'm going to send you off to Zach Petrick for this week's Roadie Sports Corner.
Welcome back to your Roadie Sports Corner. I'm Zachary Petrick. Congratulations to the URI's men's track and field team, who placed first in the Atlantic 10 Championships over the weekend, scoring 227 points. 227 points is the most points scored by a team in over 20 years and was 85 more points than second place George Mason. The Rams have now won 4 straight championships and 10 of the last 14, officially cementing themselves as a dynasty within the conference. Men's basketball's David Fuchs took home Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Week honors following a career-high 23-point, 12-rebound performance against Richmond last Wednesday. Fuchs is in his first year at Rhode Island, coming to the United States after playing professional basketball in Germany. In other A-10 news, the University of Massachusetts has decided to leave the Atlantic 10 to join the Mid-American Conference. The A-10 acknowledged Tuesday that UMass had decided to leave the conference to house their football team, which was previously independent. The Minutemen and women will begin Mid-American play in 2025. Now let's take a look at some of our scores around campus. Men's basketball fell to LaSalle before taking on VCU. Women's basketball lost to St. Joseph's before returning home to take on VCU. Baseball fell in all 3 of their games against Virginia Tech. Softball competed in the Owl Classic, dropping all 5 of their contests. Women's track and field placed 7th over their 2 days at the A-10 Championships. Women's swim and dive placed 10th in the Atlantic 10 Championships. And finally, tennis swept Colgate to earn their 4th straight win. That's all we have for this week's edition of the Roadie Sports Corner. For live updates across all URI athletics, be sure to follow us on social media at Cigar Sports.
Thanks, Zach. Winter may not be over, but it sure feels like it this week, with temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday spiking into the mid-50s. This weekend will be colder, with rain and temperatures back into the 40s, but we can expect warmer days going into next week. This Friday at 7, the Musicians Guild is hosting a concert at the Rams Den. Ryan Polillo went to catch up with the Guild members outside the Memorial Union to learn more.
I'm Ryan, and we're here outside of the Memorial Union here at URI, and we've stumbled across this table. The Musicians Guild is here to share some words. So, talk us through, what are you guys out here doing today?
Right now we're flyer running for our show on Friday. It's going to be in the Rams Den. Some awesome bands. $5 with your student ID.
Crazy close up.
$10 without. This Friday in the Union, Friday, March 1st.
Okay, sweet. Is this like the first big thing of the semester, or what else have we been looking at?
Yeah, so we had a show in the ballroom just last week or 2 weeks ago. We run concerts in the Union roughly every 2 weeks. So, you know, Rams Den, cafeteria by day. It's going to be a live concert at night. Hundreds of people on Friday night. Be sure to check it out.
You heard it there, hundreds of people on Friday night. From the good 5 Cent Cigar, I'm Ryan Polillo. Back to you, Lucas.
Thanks, Ryan. The university announced Wednesday that President Mark Parlange has been reappointed as president after a review by the Board of Trustees determined that his performance has exceeded the qualifications to continue to hold the position. The review, among other metrics, determined that 80% of surveyed participants found that Parlange's strategy and priorities effectively led the development of the university's new 10-year plan. 83% of participants agree that the president promotes inclusiveness in the university community, and that 85% thought that the president is goal-directed, persistent, and driven to achieve objectives. Parlange has used his first 3 years to promote the university's 10-year plan, which was announced last year. The plan claims to prioritize broadening the impact of the university's research, enhance student achievement, foster an inclusive culture, and power the university to match the challenges of a changing academic environment. Last up, Rocky State Park in Warwick is an urban explorer's dream with an abandoned amusement park and scenic waterfront views. Aiden Cahill went there to tell us more for this week's Aiden on Location.
Nowadays, the arch behind me may be on some Rhode Island license plates, but did you know that it was actually built in 1964 for the New York World's Fair? Welcome to Aiden on Location at Rocky Point State Park in Warwick, Rhode Island. Only 16 miles north of campus, there's been a park at this site in Warwick Neck since the late 1840s, when William Winslow bought the land for a resort for workers from the nearby city of Providence. Though the site may be quite empty now, there was once a lively amusement park here. The first rides were added in 1850. They were a carousel and swings. Right now, I'm sitting on the stairs to what was once the House of Horrors here. Even though the park closed in 1995, the House of Horrors was the last ride to operate here, operating in 1998 even, when the park reopened as a Halloween attraction. One of the most prominent abandoned remnants left at the park is this, the Skyliner, a ski lift that used to carry passengers across the entire park. In its heyday, Rocky Point was the place to be in Rhode Island. The Warwick Railroad and Steamboat service ran to the park, and according to WarwickHistory.com, trolleys ran to and from Providence as often as every 5 minutes at the park's peak. Although railroad and steamboat service were a large part of this park's past, not much remains visible. Only a small segment of the steamboat dock and a few small scattered segments of railroad like this remain. Rocky Point isn't just an abandoned amusement park, however. Back in 2020, this fishing pier opened, which the Rhode Island DEM says is the only deepwater fishing pier in all of Narragansett Bay. Just because the park was once abandoned doesn't make it dead for good. Even though Rocky Point may no longer be a nationally renowned amusement park, it's nice to see that a park like this still has a place in Rhode Island's heart. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Aiden. That's all we have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow us here on YouTube and on Instagram at Roadie Cigar, and to pick up our print paper anywhere on campus to stay up to date with all your Roadie news. I'm your host, Lucas Masiello. This is the Good 5 Cent Cigar, URI's only video newscast. And as always, have a great week, Roadie.